welcome to the Activity Call Live. And now, our host, Andy Albright.
How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
Right up out of my mind. I got Rojas.
Fantastic, man.
Is that Jake and Ray?
What's up?
Sir.
What's up, people?
Somewhere. Oh, there we are.
There
What's
you are.
happening?
I see you. We're talking about 2025. We're talking about breaking free from whatever held you back last year. And if you weren't held back last year and you was excelling, we talk about pouring gas on it. What I'm talking about. Good to see y'all.
Likewise.
Thing I want to share with y'all is who you share your goals with. Because you little, you tell them mama, daddy, granddaddy, your uncle, your elders, talking about what I'm going to do. They all encourage you. Take another step. Take another bite. Learn to eat your green beans. But you know what? As you get older and you get these big, crazy dreams, be careful, because the people you used to talk to who was happy about you taking another step and eating your green beans, they ain't big on traveling all over the world to Russia and China and Egypt and Australia and New Zealand, all them foreign places. See, because they've not been to them places, and they had their big dreams and they got bursted, and it hurt so bad. And so they might not want you to get hurt like they hurt. And since it didn't work for them, it probably ain't going to work for you, because you're little and younger and dumber. So they try to educate you on the downfall and how it's going to work out for you.
Recording in progress.
Like it worked out for them. You see what I'm saying? So then listen to this. A lot of people coach their agents. Is this bringing back for y'all too?
Yeah, it's echoing.
We're working on it. We're going to have it in 1 second. You beat my expectations. I was going to say a minute, but 1 second she had it. Okay. So they have good intentions. They're not bad people. What was it we used to say? SNIOPs. Don't be susceptible to the negative influences or negative people. SNIOPs. Don't be susceptible to those people. But the problem is they're not negative people. They're mama, daddy, wife, cousin, aunt, uncle, neighbor, or my best friend in high school. And these people, they care. They really care about you. Now, I like this attribute. Well, I know what you're saying, and I know what he's saying, but my friends, they got nothing to gain from it. They're not making no money off of me, and they don't care whether I succeed or not. So they're just giving me honest advice. Okay, like if you don't follow the logic of this, you didn't do good on one of those SAT tests, or what do you call them nowadays? Is that what they are?
That's it. Yeah.
PSAT, It's does this relate to this? Well, since I ain't got nothing to gain, they must be telling the truth. What? How does telling the truth tie into whether you have something to gain or not? Like, what if they're just idiots? What if they're just dumb? What if they've never been successful before? What if they've never read a book? What if they've never been out of their own county, but they have nothing to gain? See, they've never been out of their county, but they got nothing to gain. Therefore, it must be the truth. Like, bro, X and Y don't equal C and B. You would not be good at the IC game. Or what is that? Is that game we do them called the C game? ABC. You would not be good at the ABC game because you can't tie in this to that. They care about me and they love me. Therefore, they must be telling the truth. See, the truth is the truth. And if somebody's telling you to take a wrong street or a wrong turn and they care about you a lot, it's still wrong. See, this don't equal to this. You see what I'm saying? See, be careful who you talk to and the logic behind who's coaching you. So who you're sharing your dreams with can be can be critical as hell. Now, here's another one. If Brian Adams has something to make off of me, make more money off of me, he must be telling the truth, or he must be lying. It's neither one. It's his opinion. Now, here's what I do know. If my CEO, if he wants to win, I need to win. So the advice he's given me, he's probably trying his damnedest to be correct and be the truth. The other thing is he's been all over the world and he's made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. And I like his family and his children and his wife and his daddy, is like the whole package. You see what I'm saying? So the odds are better. My attorney, me and him don't agree on everything. He makes money when I pay him when I do something. But I've been around him for a long time. I've seen his success. I've seen him get promoted up. I've seen his history of successes. Therefore, I believe it's the truth to the best of his damn ability, and his ability is great. My accountant, I know he's made millions and millions of dollars. I know he's helped all kinds of people. He's given me incredible advice over the last 23 years, saved me millions of dollars, made me millions of dollars. So I'm counting on him. I have other people come into my life, and they just got the answers. I had a lady start texting me yesterday. I got this guy with the answers. He's got every answer. And I was like, I've got a million people telling me the answers. What I need is results. So what has they done in the past? So when you're talking to aunt, uncle, cousin's best friend, hey, let me tell you something. If they're your neighbor, that means they live in your neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting down your neighborhood, but I'm saying your neighborhood be your neighborhood. They're not in a different neighborhood. They're not in a different tax bracket. They're not in a nicer house. And I love people to get all into me about money and everything. I know it ain't everything. I am aware of that. But it does dictate the car you drive. It does dictate how long your vacations are. It dictates how big your kitchen is and your walk-in closet is. It dictates if you go international or not. It does dictate a lot of things. You can have the fullest of life and be the happiest person. So what if you knew somebody that was happy as hell, doing great stuff, and traveling all over the world? So the first thing for 2025 is thinking about who you talk to, who you share your goals with, where they come from, what's their history, and who to believe. Whose advice are you listening to? And if I hear this one more time, which I know I am, I better not say anything really bad. Well, my wife was thinking, so you don't lose your mind, here's what I get from girls. Well, my husband, he was thinking, oh God, here's what I say, here we go. This is going to be good. Because you can just tell with the tone, they're getting ready to start making excuses, trying to get out of something, trying to back down on a commitment, trying to let up, trying to explain a failure, looking for an excuse, and they got their spouse right there with them for an instant excuse. Well, she said, well, he said, and I'm like, oh, Lord, y'all know you married each other. Y'all know you live in the same house. You make 50% of what he does, she does. You say, like, it's not, you've heard a thing like, give a brother a hand, or help me up, or it's going to be hard for somebody to pull you up when they're right side by you. And then I know somebody probably come up with some song. She lifted me up. You know why she lifted you up? The wind beneath your weeds. That's because you was trying to go this way, and that wind was coming at you. That's what lifted you up. You were so mad because they were coming at you. You lifted up. There's another difference if somebody reaches their hand down and pulls you up as opposed to wind beneath your wings. You know what I'm talking about? How about somebody just get some fella a hand, pull me up, show me the direction, tell me where the pitfalls are, tell me where the sinkholes are, tell me where the briars are, tell me where the moccasins are and the snakes are about over yonder. What I'm talking about. Now, that's the big thing I want to hit you is who coming out of 2025 because you're going to get some advice. Oh, don't you like those social medias? I'll tell you everything you need to know. $12.95. And here's what people say. Well, it's so cheap, I feel like I can't turn it down. So let me tell you something. So if it was $17,462, you wouldn't have bought it. To make $10 million, you wouldn't have paid $17,462. But $17.49, you jumped all over it. I'm chicken on a June bug. Picking them up. Picking up them success stories. $12.95. And if you get stuck along the way, we have 3 other cassettes or audios you can pay $12.95 for. You can pull into one of those. And the fact that I've never done anything, don't let that hold you back. It's just social media, right? I ain't never done anything. That's why there's no panoramic of my house. One of my boys, he just Googles the home address. Talking about I ain't buying nothing from them. But they get on there and they just sell it, don't they? $100 a month, $1,000 a month, I'll get you unstuck. Hey, and watch, I have nothing to gain but the $100 that you give me, which is nothing. Therefore, I'm telling you the absolute truth because you only gave me $100 and I have nothing to gain. Like this logic, like that's the logic they use in explaining their lack of results. And you should listen to them. So if you listen to that kind of logic, that means you're going to have that kind of logic when you start buying leads, when you start traveling, when you start deciding whether you're going to book a trip this week, next week, the following week. Oh, we got convention. Oh, then we got Valentine's. Oh, then we got, you see what I'm saying? So whoever's coaching you with the idiotic logic because they hadn't had success, because they care about you. They don't want you to get hurt. They don't want you to sacrifice. So you take that logic into your life. You just let that stupidity come into your life. So carefulness, it's this. I want you to have carefulness and I want you to have boldness. Carefulness against the stupidity, boldness against the bravery, boldness against the accuracy, boldness against do the right thing. You with me? It is a contrast. It's like people say, don't make excuses. Yeah, you do need to make excuses and hang around dumb people. You don't want to not come up with an excuse. You want to have 2 or 3 of them ready, like already have something scheduled. I had a prior commitment. That's the wrong time of the day. My wife. That's what you hit him with. My husband, he made me promise. So you got to have an excuse ready. Such a contradiction. But then when somebody says, National Convention coming up, you got to be bold and move on it. They go, you need to be there. Okay, I'm there. You ought to be there, or you ought to be there. You should be there. Do it. But they've got something to gain. What do they got? If it's Adam Katz, are you kidding me? Him and Beth and the home they live in, the cars they drive, and their children all college and productive and make it. I mean, what are you talking about? Seriously? Traveled all over the world, Stephen Davies and Ollie? Oh my goodness. And you guys on Sebastian Chambers' team. Listen to Sebastian, listen to Terry. Terry Edwards talking about, I said, Terry, growing up, y'all have a swimming pool. He said, growing up, they wouldn't even let me in the swimming pool area. I said, I don't even know what you're talking about. He said, that's bad, man. They ain't got the only swimming pool in his neighborhood and all family and cousins, everybody. I said, be careful about them family. He said, I'm limit my time around. So it's boldness on do the right thing when the right people telling you. And quit listening to the idiots. Be very careful who you hang out with and who you make your judgment with. All right, guys. A lot of times, by the way, I'm talking right at y'all. You know, the ones that are on here. I might be this time. No, I'm just kidding. You guys are perfect. Rojas.
Sir.
2025, I had to, boom, yeah, like that.
All right.
You going to Cabo with us?
We are going to Cabo, baby. Wouldn't miss it.
You ain't got no babies on the way or anything gonna mess that up, do you?
Yeah, we'll find a good person for that. Take care of them.
What?
A good person, like we'll find a babysitter for them.
You ain't got no. You just have a baby, or you almost had a baby?
No, we just had a baby, sir.
That's right. I remember seeing them pictures, all them pictures and stuff.
Josiah.
Everybody good? Mama good? Baby good?
Mama good, baby good.
Is this your first one?
First one. First baby.
Would the baby go to Cabo with us or stay home? How you think? Have y'all talked
Baby
about that?
staying home, bro.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir.
You check with Mom on that?
No, I have not, but it's Cabo, bro.
I don't care if it's the moon, bro. Them spouses are influential people.
Word.
I heard one person gonna have a baby right during that time. They ain't gonna be able to go. I said, "Daggone."
Wow.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Yes. Me know about somebody having a baby?
I don't know who's having a baby.
All right. Tell them something about you then. You know about me. Tell
Brian
me.
Rojas been here 7 years, going to be 8 years in March. And we've had such a dream with this business, been killing it, and so grateful for the leadership for you, Andy Riddle, Big Mike. Iron sharp as iron. And the past few weeks we've been hanging around, talking, and it's been such a blessing hanging around with you, people like Jake. And business is amazing. People are leaning in, and 2025 is the year of momentum for us, man. So we're pretty excited about 2025.
Clearly married. Clearly got a baby just had. How old's your baby?
2 weeks old.
What's the name and stuff, stats?
Josiah Andy Rojas.
Okay, let's be clear. This is not the second baby named after me this year. This baby was named after a different Andy.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And with some people, I do say it was named after me. I tell my wife that. Man, and that's the second baby named after me in 1 year. Ryan Tatiana did in Taiwan. They're not the ones I'm talking about not going to Cabo. Hey, so you want all expense paid trip to Cabo? Have you been? Give me some of the trips you've been on. Some highlights, Rojas.
Absolutely. So, like, one of the best trips, one of my favorite trips has been our first trip was Paris, France. That was Crystaline's bucket list. She's an artist. So when you're talking about portraits and pictures and stuff like that, that was her dream trip. And that was a trip that we were supposed to take 10 years down the road. We never saw it coming, and thanks to the Alliance, that was our first trip, 2019. And since then, we've never missed a trip since. So we've gone to Aruba, Cancun, Ireland. Where else? We're going to Cabo San Lucas now. Alaska. We just came from Alaska on a cruise, first cruise ever. And Canada. So we've traveled, we won the trip to Thailand, New Zealand, all those trips due to COVID, we couldn't go. But it's been exciting to be able to travel, have fun, make money, and make a difference. And I don't take it for granted, man.
People in the world have been to that many countries. And he's sitting here giving you advice or talking to you, and you listening to some idiot driving some vehicle that costs less than a watch. Matter of fact, you get 2 of them vehicles. They get 3. Depending on who they are, about 3 of them vehicles for this one little watch. And you don't listen to a man like Rojas, who will take you in a car with him and show you how it works. Here's what people go like. Well, I went out myself, and that's not what happened. I went 0 for 5. I had to pet a stuffed dog and pretend like it was alive. I had to smoke marijuana with one old man. Didn't have one leg. Had the sugar. Made me pet his leg. Did you ask him when it got cut off? Did you ask him, did a shark bite it? Or what did you say? And they get all upset. And I go, look, hey, I want to call him a dumbass. You know what I mean? I want to say, hey, you. Rojas is doing it. Rojas didn't come for some daggum pedigree, 6'5", blonde hair, blue eyes, surfer boy that can sell iced ex-Eskimos. You know? Hey, Ross.
Sir, you're right. I
Did you
couldn't
go down that pass in Ireland through the lakes and stuff? Did you do that thing?
Yeah, that was so cool. Ride
the horsey?
Yep, we did that. I mean, I remember the extension to Ireland. Holy crap. I mean, one of the most beautiful places my eyes have ever seen. I remember we got to the hotel, and right when we got into our room, you see a panoramic of all these huge mountains. And I remember just dreaming, just saying, man, I would love to see what those mountains look like from up top. Turns out the next day, the Alliance has scheduled an excursion to go all the way to the top of those mountains. And it was incredible. You know what it is to be on top of a mountain and not have to walk it? Horses carrying you? You know, that's cool. You know, and it's just like experiencing God's glory from a different perspective in Ireland, from a boy that's from Los Angeles, California, that was raised in Tampa. How incredible. Hard work, dedication, hanging around people like you, Andy. That's what got us, my wife and I, there. You know, never missed a meeting, hung around with people like you, and got to work. Simple.
Ain't it fun how many people? Like, I just want to take layer this little segment right here and say, listen to this ding-dong head. Rojas, you wasn't perfect coming out of the gate, were you, Rojas? Everybody writing checks?
Absolutely not. My first 20 appointments, I didn't make a single sale. Buddy, I was listening to Stephen Furtick like crazy.
But, hey, some people ain't run 20 appointments in their life.
That's the thing. That's what makes it laughable. Right? I did it in 3 days. My learning curve was, you know what I mean? Where people take 2 months to do that. 3 months, 6 years. Like, ready, fire, aim.
What was your coach getting coached? Was that Big Mike talking to you during that?
Absolutely. Mike was on my butt every single day. And that's one of the things, man. I leaned into the coaching. Like, when I first started, I went to Mike's office to dial. Didn't miss a dial session, you know, and I was calling Mike. And in the coaching, one of the things that I remember from Big Mike says, either you change or change is coming. Either way, change is going to come. So I had to unlearn some things, deprogram some things, you know what I mean? And that's all thanks to Mike. Mike gave me all the basics, and I'm so grateful for that. You know, there's no price put on that. He taught me how to dial. When I'm dialing, clean my desk, no bills. Have a charger, pencil, activity book, leads. Let's go. $40 an hour minimum. And those same concepts is what we're teaching our team, man.
40 dials an hour.
Actually, we talk in our room, in our locker room, we say $60 an hour. That's what we do here.
$60 an hour.
Yeah.
You are moving to get to 60.
Yeah.
You know, people, they make dials and they don't keep with their stats.
Oh,
They
yeah.
just do the best they can. They wing it. You know why? Because they're more skilled than you. They're more talented than you. They don't need the coaching you need. They're basically superior to you.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
You know, if it rains, they'll probably drown because their nose up in the air. Because they can't look down on small folks that keep track of the number of phone calls they make and the number of no-shows and the number of sits.
Right.
So that they can get better. What kind of arrogance? They're not arrogant. They're good humans listening to their spouse and their uncle and their daddy saying, don't go at it too hard. You'll get disappointed. Go at it soft. That way you'll know if you like it or not.
Oh, boy.
I don't like, there's somebody, like, you understand, most of the stuff I like is a no-go. The stuff I don't like is what you got to be doing. Wants to put a string in between your teeth and floss. My dentist said, just floss the ones you want to keep.
That's right.
I said, oh, God, I'm about to floss them all. That ain't what I want to do. I just want to get the top 2, 3. I'll go back up there and big. I'll see if you might. Hey, here, try a flosser, see if you like it or not.
Oh, boy.
You want to keep your teeth or not? You know what I mean? Like, you want to win, or you just want to see if you like it? You want to make a bunch of money, or you want to find something you like? You like picking flowers? Pick flowers about 8 hours. Let's see how you like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like they come on, the brain deadness. True that. Goal 45. Who you listening to? Big Mike? You listen to Andy Riddle? You listen to Rojas? You listen to Mike and Noel Leventovich? Who's the coaches you get? Are you listening to Anthony Robbins? Are you reading The Art of War? Are you reading what? Oh, you need to. I like this one. I need to do better in that category. Like, you need to do something, and that you need to score. You need to try. And then they hit, I'm not trying. Only do. Hey, dum. You ain't even trying. You ain't made it to the do part because you couldn't get into the try part. That gone, Rojas.
Facts.
Rojas, I want to tell you something. Thailand is an uptick. It's a lot further. It's a lot more exotic, a lot crazy. Guess what that means?
What does that mean?
More points.
Tell me about it.
You got to do the math on them points to get there. Because people that did it sleepwalking, and just clicked out enough to win, they're going to need to step it up.
Come on.
But a brand new person that starts today, they kill it. All they got to do is get after it.
I like that.
So make sure you people understand those stats. It's a bigger trip, a longer trip, more expensive trip, more points to win it. And points to go to convention. Hello. All right. Jake and Bray.
Good morning.
How y'all doing this morning?
You're doing great. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great. Bray, did your husband tell you about mine of his conversations we was hanging out a couple weeks ago?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if he told you any of that or not.
Told me a few things.
So tell me a little bit about y'all, or tell the audience.
She said, I've been telling you that all along.
What? Let's review. You told her what I said, and what'd she say?
She said, I've been telling you that all along. She's smart.
You probably heard one of them talks where not to listen to your spouse, and so even though she was telling you brilliance, you said, well, Albright said, don't be listening to the worst and lives in the same house you live in, because they got the same house. So that's
you told him to not listen to somebody that makes half his income. So
right, that's what I'm saying. He probably was using that logic, Bray. So let him off the hook. All right, he's been protective. I don't know who else he was listening to though, Bray, because it wasn't me and you. Hey, he might have been. I don't know. He's been killing it. He's a super provider and a super daddy and doing all kinds of things great. So we can't beat him up too much, but it was fun conversations. Well, tell me more about y'all. Where y'all from and your family and kids and team you on?
Yeah, so we're Jake and Ray Joseph. We live in Rio Rancho, New Mexico. We were brought on by a family friend of ours, worked real closely with Joseph Dukes. He took us by the hand and coached us up. Mike and Will Leventovich, Andy, yourself. And been here, just hit 6 years now. We've been married coming on 13.
Well, married coming up on 8, but
together 13. Married coming up on 8. We got our 2 daughters, Reina and Catalina. They're 8 years old and 11 years old. Just been, I'm glad we were talking about this today, because last night Ray and I were sitting down and we were looking at numbers from last year and figuring out what our goals are for this coming year. And a lot of it, Andy, was lining up with what you were talking to me about. Basically, don't be a smiling possum when it comes to your goals, you know? There's be realistic, you know? Set realistic goals. And anytime I have done that in the past, I'm like, damn, I should have set a bigger goal because we hit it. So being with the Alliance now, this amount of time and getting around the heat and hanging around you guys and like being around the cabin, I'd never heard it before coming into this business, but the rubber band effect, you stretch it, and then when you let it go, it's not its original size. It's a bit bigger and a bit bigger. And then before you know it, it's insane. So we're looking at ourselves, and we thought, we probably laugh at, I know, I don't want to say we. I thought when we first found this business, $250,000, I would have been like, we made it. And now we're like, I don't know how you live off 250,000, because the kind of stuff we want to do is the 250,000 doesn't let you do it. Huge thanks to you guys, and again, Mike and Noel and Joseph, and the way they live their lives, and the way they keep us dreaming. Hanging around Mike Leventovich, shopping for Super Bowl tickets is a pretty cool experience to be around when he's doing it. Like, you got to do it last minute. You don't plan for the Super Bowl because you don't know if your team's going to be there. So that's been something that's fun. Talking about new year, new goals. You got to get around the successful people if you want to learn how to dream correctly and live a life. Because if you don't know what's out there. You truly have no idea. Some of the stuff you've been sending us, Andy, I was like, I didn't know you can hang out with gorillas like that.
A lot of people don't believe it.
No.
I don't care. There's silverback gorillas, babies and mamas. You can't get too close to them, and you got to learn how to speak to them. I can give you a lesson on that. Let me tell you something. When a guy tells you how to talk to gorillas to keep them from ripping you into little pieces, you be like taking notes. All right. So think about this, Jay. I don't care. Let's go with the husband. Let's go with you and your wife. So I done told everybody, be careful who you talk to. So he's talking to his wife, and she's telling him the right stuff. And his upline's saying the same thing, and his upline's saying the same thing. But he going to use the logic, but I'm not supposed to listen to somebody that's the same place I am. You understand the logic? Like, bro, if a guy who's a multimillionaire is telling you one thing, and your husband or your spouse or your live-in or your buddy, your partner, is saying the opposite, now you're listening to a person that lives in the same house you live in, makes the same money, probably comes from the same background. And they're contradicting the guy, the girl, the people that are traveling, successful, happy, living a life, right? There's a difference when your spouse is agreeing with what they're saying and they're not in congruency. They're not lying. You see, it's just the logic, the simplistic logic of this that people just don't follow. And I've had people this happens all the time. If they disagree with me, they don't want to sit down and let me explain it to them. Because they say, well, the way you explain it, it looks like it's only one option. Like, bro, I'm just trying my best to sort it out and just show you what it looks like. I'm just, what in things where they flip the cards and tarot cards or whatever, or they roll the dice, or they put the leaves, they drop a leaf and they go like, this is how I read it. And they tell you what's going to happen in your life. Y'all seen that on a movie? You know what I'm talking about? Well, I kind of try to do the same thing. You say, well, this is how much we paid for our house. This is how much our taxes was. This is what my daddy said he's going to give me, and this is how much income I'm making. I go, all right, let's just set this over there, and let's compare to this. It's not like tarot cards. It's not like leaves. You get to look at the leaves or the dice and the card yourself. It's not like I just roll it and I go like, oh, I see wealth in your future. You should come to the convention. It's not like that. I do things like, yeah, Mike and Noel's going to be there. My wife's going to be there. Andy Riddle's going to be there, and Angela. And we're going to have Coffee Anderson go to a concert. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the top persistency people that have best persistency are going to be coaching on that. You're going to need contacts at the carrier. When something happens, you can meet them and shake hands and develop relationships. I just lay it out. I go like, what do you think? I'm just reading it. I'm not reading the cards. I'm just laying them out for you and putting them in black and white. Now you got babysitter problems. You got doggy problems. What kind of dogs you got? And when y'all take a trip to Italy for 2 weeks, who keeps your dogs then? Well, when you've never been to Italy. Well, there you go. Let's put that down. Never been to Italy. What about when you go to Mexico for 2 weeks? What about when you go to Germany? What about when you go to Japan? How about when you go to Thailand? Oh, so you've never traveled. Okay, so I guess what we need to think about is when you win a trip to go to Italy for 2 weeks, whoever's going to be looking at your dogs then need to be looking at your dogs now when you prepping to get to go on a trip. Because you're going to prep them with a weekend so they'll be ready for 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying? Like I just lay it out. It's just logic that I try to explain it to people. Now, I also hear Rojas and Beret and Jake, they tell people, well, I just told it to them. It's their choice whether they do it or not. Well, the way you logically explained it, the way you laid it out to them so they could read it also, you might need to get better at that. Don't just let people yes or no. Your sales to get them successful. You're selling them, tricking them, convincing them, coaching them to get successful. But some people are like, nobody I talk to does what I say. Then you really need to improve your art of persuasion, your ability to get people to do something. Well, maybe all of them are dumb. Yeah, all of them could be dumb, but if it was just one or two and you failed, it might be them. But it's been like 20. I'm starting to wonder if it's you, Rojas. 20 in a row. I'm thinking maybe you're doing something wrong. So you're making adjustments. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Your job is to coach and to influence. Now, I want to tell you my favorite terms. Spouse talking to spouse. Spouse agrees with the management, agrees with the leadership, agrees with what Think and Grow Rich says, and the spouse looks at the other spouse and says, I know, but. What do they put after that? All kinds of stuff. Or I've been thinking. Or just straight up, yeah, but. I call it Billy Goat insurance. Because all Billy Goats want to do is butt something. You try to put them this way, they butt you. You try to put them that way, they butt you. No matter what you try to do to them, they're going to butt you. That's what Billy Goats do. And that's what spouses, they don't want to work. They got an excuse. Say, I know, but I've been thinking. Here's what I was thinking. Like, I told you. Riddle told you. Coffee Bean told you. Damon West said, if you want to be successful, boom, boom, boom. I know, but he's not in insurance. Yeah, but Andy Albright is in insurance. And Damon is in the success business. And Coffee Anderson is in the success business. And Dr. Caracas Watkins is in the success business. And they're saying do this, this, and this. And somebody hitting them with a yeah, but. So you be careful who you're listening to, because they'll get you. They'll wear you down. They'll figure it out. Trips, all expense. Yeah. Now I'll tell you this too. I'm gonna back up a little bit. When you're interviewing people, Rojas, I say he wasn't like this crazy genius. But watch this. How long had you been in that telemarketing business that you were been in, Rojas?
You're talking about Cutco?
You were in some kind of telesales or something like that.
Yeah, I did. I think it was about a year and a half. I worked for, selling Medicare supplements for Aetna.
On the phone?
Over the phone. Yes, sir.
So he'd done that. Not for 30 minutes and failed, but succeeded. What else had you done in that type of environment?
We did Cutco. We sold Cutco.
How long did you do Cutco?
About a year.
He survived Cutco for a year. Most people last one outing, 0 for 6, selling Cutco knives. So they make the decision the business don't work. Did it for a year. Did you work during that year?
That's all I did for a year.
Did you make some money?
I made some money.
So
we had to get the knife right there, ergonomically designed, balance the knife and everything.
I ate dinner last night with Cutco. I cut up my deer steak this morning with Cutco.
You know.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Bless him.
One of my favorite people in the world, number one Cutco salesman in the world,
Wow.
passed away 2 months ago. Young guy, early 40s. I got one of my cousins sold us a set of Cutco. I bet you 20 years ago. We still use it. Got the red handles. But the one I like, these latest ones. Like, okay, it's not Cutco advertising. And how long have you been married, Ross?
Going to 8 years in July, in June.
So were you married when you started with us, or engaged?
No, sir. I was I was engaged, and we got married 3 months after we started this business.
And what else kind of work you was doing?
Uber and Lyft. Uber and Lyft, and I think the best type of work that I did was my auntie had her own catering business, and I started working with her, from age 8 to age from 8 years old to age 15, 16. Counting money, driving for her, looking after her, cooking, just stuff, learning how to manage her business. You know what I mean?
So you don't end up with somebody at 15 people, and the guy's describing this. So how old are you when you started this business with us, Ross?
I was 27 years old.
So he's had all this history. When you start laying out stuff logically for him, you want to take more time to explain it because he's done stuff. Versus a person who's just whined and complained and doing nothing and living with mom and daddy and blah, blah, blah. They're not working, they're not hustling, they're not Uber, Lyft. Then you end up taking all this time. So you got to kind of pick who you're coaching. So you're picking who you're being coached by, and you're picking who you're passing it on to. So I don't want, when I say he wasn't perfect, he was successful. So here's a thought. What if you're one of those people that ain't never had no success? Nothing's ever worked out, and you're not a hustler. Well, you could lower your standards and expectations. Don't expect to travel. Don't expect nice girl. Expect nothing. Or you could change something. You could just make a decision like everybody else does January 1. Every day from here going forward, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to change my diet going forward. I'm going to do my dials going forward. You could make a decision and stick with the decision after all the emotion around the decision is gone. It's like when you're all excited and you make a decision, easy. After the emotion's gone and all the hoorah's gone, can you stick to the decision? That's called character.
That's right.
So if I'm talking to a person who hasn't success, I'm laying that out for them. When are you ever going to start? I'm not explaining it the same as I would explain it to a ROAS. So the prescription, the medicine, the advice based on the audience. Because if you're talking about Rojas and when you ever want to do something, he done it. Now the question is, how do you parlay those skills, talents, and lessons he learned into this business fast? And 20 appointments in 3 days that's pretty much getting after it. Did it click for you after that, Rojas? Was it still a struggle?
It was a struggle still.
How so?
I didn't understand the concept of somebody filling out a lead, but then telling me they didn't want it. It made no sense.
Blew your mind?
And not in a positive way. Like when you go to the client's house, they filled out a lead, and so I'm just going in there. Hey, you filled this out. Let's get to it. You know what I mean? I didn't understand the concept. Like my patience level was low. You know what I mean? So I had to learn how to shake hands, how to smile when I didn't want to smile, how to pet dogs when I didn't want to pet dogs and cats. You know what I mean? I had to learn a lot of people skills. So that had to make sense. And then I had to learn the system. You know what I mean? And learning the process of actually selling somebody, and it took time. It took time for me, honestly.
So the logic, person filled out a form, signed it, and then say they don't want the insurance. That blew your mind.
Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? You made me drive all the way out here, and now you're telling me you don't want it. You know you're going to die. just that raw. There was no question asking, no letting them see the vision of what's going to happen if you pass away without coverage. There was
Hey, you wasn't laying it out there on a silver platter explaining to them, was you?
I'll show them products. How about that? Mutual of Omaha, living promise.
Show them products, not the situation.
Boy.
Jessica, would you pour a little bit of that coffee? It's already in the thing, please. You didn't lay it out like you didn't lay it like that. You laid it out different from them.
Right.
You gonna die.
Just like that.
Here, you filled this out thinking you was gonna die, and you still gonna die. And it might be in the next 5 minutes. You'll write me a check.
And that's what I thought it was. And I had to get, here's what Mike and Andy Riddle did for me. They gave me books. Hey, read this book. Frank Beckcher, How to Raise Myself from Failure to Success and Selling. Acres of Diamonds. They started putting books in front of me. And something in that started clicking. Okay, more service, slow down to speed up. Got it. Started seeing sales. My first sale, I made more in that one sale. To be clear, all right, I did 20 appointments, didn't get paid my first week and a half, 2 weeks. All right. But my 21st appointment, I made more on that 21st appointment than I did in 2 weeks worth of work, working for TZ Insurance, selling Medicare supplements. That for me was nuts. And I knew I sucked. And I said to myself, self, you suck. And if you can do in 1 hour what you just did in 2 weeks worth of work, plus Uber and Lyft, bro, we getting ready to kill this. We are going to get it. So that's where I'm like, all right, how do I get really good at this? How do I hone in on this? How do I stay humble, stay hungry, right? And lean in more than what I have. Because now it's real. I just sold a policy for over 3,000 AP. We're going to make some money, baby. You know what I mean? And that policy's still in the books today. So that fired me up.
Explain people this, or get Rojas to explain them, get them to watch this video, and then touch them and talk to them, explain to them how this works. This is how it works. Jake and Bray, I want to hear y'all talk about 2025. Like, what's the game plan? What's the growth rate? What we're shooting for? And if you don't mind, hit them with some serious boldness. Whatever you were thinking in the next minute, think bigger. Okay?
Right.
Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This is so sad situation. I've had something happen in my life, and I don't even know what to do about it. A lot of people just say, pray. I guess I could just think about something else. But we set a goal of $250,000 for people to come, and we pay for them to come to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. And if a person, you say, what you think is $250, so you want some people to do $300 and $400 and $290, right? Because then it pays for the expense because they're selling a lot of insurance. But if they do $250,000 and $1, we'll still let them go. That's not what we want. We want people to do $400,000 and then we pay for all expense paid trip, or $300,000. We don't want them to do $250,000 and $1. And we picked the number, my smart people, my actuaries, my statisticians, and they said, here's the cutoff. We had 4 couples in between $249,000 and $250,000, like within hundreds of dollars. I want to cry for those 4 people. But there's going to be people that did $248,000 and $1. They're 2,000 away, and they're going to say, well, I'm only 2,000 away. I'm like one sale away, just one sale. Can't you just slide me by? Well, there's 4 people from 249 to 250. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
To 365 days to get it done. And one day they said, I know, but. One day they said, I deserve a break. They was probably watching a Bud Light commercial. You know what I mean? I deserve one, you know what I mean? Or I deserve it. Or they was probably watching social media, learning how to get rich. All day long. I binged on getting rich. Oh, I'm so sad. It's terrible. Like, I'm laughing because might as well laugh and cry. I don't know what to do. And you go, they'll learn next time. I don't know. I'm not trying to learn nobody nothing. I'm trying to get them to win a trip to Cabo. Now I'm trying to go to Thailand. What are we in? What's the date? The 3rd? We're already 3 days in.
Right.
You're down to 349 days, baby. You better get your stuff going. You don't miss it by 100 points. I hope it wasn't on y'all's team. I hope everybody on y'all team won it. So, anyway, y'all just like a moment of silence together.
No, we're.
What about the people that were like within 3,000 or 2,000 or 5,000? What if they within 10,000 points? Like, that's close. 240 and all he needs 250. You know, you'd be sad. I almost had it if I'd worked a little bit more. Like, how many people are going to be jammed up in that category? That's going to happen again. You just got to draw a line somewhere and go like, yeah, there's the line. Yeah, if you're over it, you're barely over it. You're barely in. But you still get treated like everybody that was over by 100,000 points. You still get treated the same as them. So that's good. That's not really So, not making fun of you, not disappointed by you. I'm sad. I am. Anyway, all right, let's do something more optimistic. It's terrible. I'm just thinking about it. It's going to happen again. Here we go. By the way, if you go way over the points, you get all the money. I know your trip don't change, but you get all the money. You do get better rooms, better service, seriously, better amenities. If you way over it, but you still get to go. Hey, Jacob Ray, based on what all's been happening in 2 or 3 months, in the last few weeks of your life, getting your mind right, what's the game plan for 2025?
Yeah. So, I mean, game plan for 2025, we broke it down in a few sections. I know for us to hit Chiang Mai, we want to hit it no later than October. So we want the extension. So we know that that's going to take about $40,000 a month in premium. So we're definitely making sure that we're gearing up for that. We've been doing these estate planning and stuff is starting to come through the pipeline. We have $1 million in annuities set to issue this January between my mom and I. So that's gonna be a good head start for everything. So just keeping the pedal down with that, knowing we need to keep personally producing at a high level to help fund our business. So we have 10 estate planning seminars scheduled for the entire year. We have dates locked in. So that's on the personal production side. But last night I was telling Jake, I want to make a lot of money selling, but I'd rather make a lot of money building a team. So how do we grow and really just take the lid off of our income as far as our business goes? So one goal that we had set for ourselves, and maybe we need some help with this because we didn't want to set it too small, but is, how can we get our business going outside of our personal production to $500,000 a month in 2025. That would be us 3xing our business this year. So didn't want to set a goal too small, but how can we do that? I don't know what else you want to say on that.
Yeah, we looked at what we looked at what we were already tracking, and we don't want to stay stagnant. So if we stayed the same, it wouldn't look good. So we had seen November, December, 17, 20,000 in overrides. We started at 2x and we were like, that's about 400,000 in overrides. We looked at 3x and it was a lot more appealing. So that's what we're gonna track 600,000 overrides this year, doing 500,000 a month in premium, 100 writing agents, and we're gotta get balls to the wall. That's recruiting like your life depends on it. Is what we've been told time and time again.
Traveling.
Traveling.
Far. All right. So, have you read 10x is easier than 2x?
I have not. Is that
yet.
Grant Cardone?
Dukes has been harping on us.
I think it's Hardy. He stole all of it from, not stole it because he gives credit to Dan Sullivan. 10x is easier than 2x. I think it's Hardy.
Okay.
Or Warren, huh? They're texting, they're Googling right here. I'll tell you what it is. Jake, do you remember when we stood in the cabin, I drew the big circle?
Sullivan and Hardy.
Hardy, yeah. It's Sullivan's concept. I learned it from Sullivan, but Hardy wrote a book about it. So Hardy gets credit, not me, because I went to the same seminar. It was only $5,000 for one day. Or you can read the book, or you can do both. Or I can just tell you. I can try to condense it down. All the things you could be doing in your life, like there's a lot of people that chose not to be on this live. They chose to watch it later, even though the recommendation is you watch it live. Okay? So also is, when's the recommendation to do your exercising? When's the recommendation to start your diets? You already picked 10 dates to do estate planning. Last year, how many did you even do?
We did 4 last year. So we just finished our 3rd in the beginning of December, and we have another one next week.
So you're going to go from 4 to 10. Okay. So that's 2.5 eggs. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How much better and prepared are you going to be for each of these 10 versus those first 4?
Yeah.
You tracking with me?
Yeah.
And then when you're recruiting, okay, there's a big circle. These things out here pay $10 an hour, $15 an hour. The little center pays $2,000 an hour, sometimes $6,000 an hour, right in the center. You're trying to do more $2,000 an hour things and less $10 things. So planning 10 estate plans is so much more valuable than so many other things you could have been doing. So the people that did not plan out their year did something else. Maybe what they were doing is selling instead of planning. That's worth $200 an hour, which is good. It's better than $15 an hour. But some people got caught up on Gunsmoke, the last 6 episodes. You with me? Or Trail West, or whatever the name is. Montana. You know what I'm talking about. The Birds and the Boogeyman. It's just, there's different ones. Thrones of Eagles. There's different things they got caught up on as opposed to working on their plan for the year. And they were probably like, some of the things they were doing were negative, not making money, making them worse.
Right.
So the 10X is easier than 2X. You're choosing 3X instead of 2X. Other people are trying to do the best they can. Just do better than I did last year. I'm my own competition. All these words, like all these ways they're trying to avoid. You're trying to go 10X. You're trying to go from $150,000 to $500,000 a month by the end of the year. That's what we're saying?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Right.
Yes.
So you've heard of obsession? If that's what you're obsessed with and that's what you're focused with, you could shoot past it and be doing $1 million a month and be like, I can't believe this happened. That's because you were over passionate, over obsessive about it. If you come up in at $450,000 in the month of November, it's probably because you were not as obsessive, strategic, focused on that. But guys, I mean, how you going to scream at somebody if they double? If they grow 25%, if they go 30%, most people, if their income goes up 3% or 5%, it's whoo, they see me, they recognize me, 3 to 5, 25%, 30%. They just said double. And then they said no, triple. You go tell that to somebody that don't want you hurt, they're going to go, whoo, I just go for growth, And then I'm sitting here going, like, you're going for 3X, why don't you go for 10X? So if you land somewhere between 3 and 10, you should think about it. You've got some people that last year did 6,000, and then this year they want to do 200,000. So what's 200,000 divided by 6? Or they did 12,000 last year, or they did 150,000 this year, and they want to do. You see what I'm saying? So when you take maybe you don't understand what I'm saying. If you got 10 people, and all of them want to grow 10x, and all you want to do is 3x. Why would a person want to go 10x? What if a person was terrible this year? They only did like they're doing 20,000 a month, but their team's doing 5,000 a month, so they're at 25,000 a month. They're doing 20, and they want to get up to where they're doing 200,000. Let me ask you this: if a person had 3 people and they add up to like 5,000 in production, all 3 of them, but they're writing 20,000, could they go from 25,000 a month to 250,000 a month by the end of next year?
Absolutely.
What do you? I mean, the odds of that. I mean, like it's just all it is get 10 people to sell 20,000, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at 220, and then you do 20, you're at 240. You just spit 10,000. You see what I'm saying? So the smaller goals, it looks like it's easier to go 10x, but y'all are already at 150. It looks hard. But if you go to the smaller people, it looks easy. So if you get the smaller, easier wins at 10x, your 3x goes 10x. So the multiplication and the exponential growth of the downline, the small people growing big is what gets the big number to grow big. Because the big number tries to get big, you can't move it. It's like a ship. You can't move it. But if you can take one couple or one individual and go them 2x, 3x, 10x. So if you line up 10 people, all of them go 10x, you're 10x. If one of them's 12 and one of them's 2, then you do the average. You're the average of the people that you help. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the first thing we start out, who you listen to, and then we hammered the trips, because here's what I'm doing. Who you listen to and what you dream about. Small dream, small obstacles will stop it. Big dream, who cares what the obstacles are? A lot of times the person that's just trying to get by will give up quick in an opportunity designed to help you get rich, because they would rather be in an opportunity designed to help them get by. It's designed to help you get by. I think Uber and Lyft is designed to help you get by. I really do. Which, in other words, you're going to get by. Rojas, you got more experience with it. You agree with that? Or?
Absolutely. Yeah. You're talking about as far as Uber and Lyft, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a JOB, just over broke. You know, they give you enough to
get by.
You know.
But you don't have many failures. It ain't like somebody's going to get there and not pay you. Uber's already set that up for you.
Right.
Whereas you go to sale and you get a no-show, a no-go, smoke some marijuana with me, pet my puppy dog, roll with my kitty cat, all that. It's not the same thing. It's designed for success, which also involves more failure. Crazy. Hey, guys, look, 2025, who we listen to, who we read about, who we hang around. National convention coming up. Double jeopardy on attending conventions as far as winning trips, because we think we need to pull people together to earn the trips. That's also where the education and networking is. It's the right thing to do. I'm looking, when am I leaving out, Patrick Clay? Dates coming up.
The next big thing.
Next big thing is convention. Mm-hmm. There are people traveling right now, building their business, trying to get one more person versus people trying to get one more person on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, how important is it to you if you'll throw your whole body at it, or if you just, like, get out, get after them, and get it. One more person could change your life, change your entire business. That's the other thing, Rojas and Jacob Bray, is we're all looking for that guy, that girl that's going to come in and go, this ain't that hard. Let's go find them this year. Biggest recruiting year we've ever had in the history of the Alliance come 2025. Right. State planning, it's all good. We got a whole daggum buffet laid out. Let's pray for Big Mike, you upline Rojas. Make sure everybody understands he's struggling. My man's got some serious health trouble. We appreciate all the big prayers for Mike Hartley. He's got a great business growing, providing income from him, but he's really, really struggling health-wise. And I know there's a lot of people struggling with stuff this year coming out of 2024. Hey, there's always going to be circumstances, and there's always going to be responses. Our job is to provide the response. So let's respond to 2024 with something big. Have a big 4-year run. Let's make some crazy stuff happen. I love y'all.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
Thanks.